I was asking Spirit to show me how to bring my work in. And I have been an oracle, I have been a channel, I've been like an intuitive for quite a long time for many people. Because I get messages about what people are here for, what you're here to do, why you're here to do it, and what stands in your way. And sometimes these messages come very, very clearly to me. So the last 10 years of my life, I've really focused on sharing these messages with people, just like I did with Eagle out of the clear blue sky. So I didn't even know his name at the time. I only knew the messages that I had had for him and his friend. And about a year and a half ago, I'm asking Spirit, well, how can I bring this work out? How can I bring myself out in the world? And I started getting these messages that were kind of like, paint us and we will come. They were kind of a little bit vague. And one of the people that I live with said to me, Joan, I see you painting angels. And I said, well, I can't paint faces. Specifically, I said, I can't paint mouth or eyes. So I don't see how I'm going to paint angels. And I had an argument with her. And she says, shh. She says, I see you painting angels, Joan. I just see it. And before that, a friend of mine had told me I'd be a visionary artist. And remember, I can't paint faces or anything like that. So I tuned in, and Halloween 2014, after I got these messages, I just started, I got this challenge. It was like, okay, I'm going to have to prove this right or wrong, and I got this challenge to paint 33 angels in 30 days. Any artists in the room? Okay, if you're an artist, 33 angels in 30 days, nod your head if that's a lot of work. Okay, and it was like Spirit gave me a test. This was test 1. So I painted these 33 angels in 30 days. I mean, I painted them with my eyes closed. I painted them upside down. People's departed loved ones would come to me, and I'd start painting departed loved ones. And I'd show it to someone, and they go, oh my God, that's my mother. And then the painting would start talking to me. Like one of my best friends had a problem with sugar. And I paint this beautiful painting, and he says, that's my mother. So I give him Teresa, his mother, Terry. And we're sitting there, and suddenly he's reaching for the sugar. And my voice changes. And it's like, you put that down. That's like heroin in your body. You know who I'm talking about. And he looked at me, and he went, what? And I, like it's like, you put that down right now. That is heroin. And I am not sitting at breakfast with you and you putting that kind of crap in your body. I never spoke like this in my entire life. And it turned out that he said to me, this is exactly what my mother used to say to me. You are channeling my mother. So this was extremely powerful for me. And I started painting other departed loved ones. But we took these paintings and I put them up in, I live in a penthouse, and I put them up in the loft. And before you know it, I had created an angel loft. And I went upstairs to sit in there. And I had a bookcase, and I collect books. And I actually don't read most of the books I collect until something happens, and then I realize I have that book and I can research the subject. I don't know if anyone's like that, but it always happens that just when I need the book, I have it. And I go to the bookshelf, and this book falls off. I've been carrying this book for about 8 years, and I have moved a lot in 8 years. I've never read it. It was called Invoking Your Celestial Guardian Angel. I had never read the book. It falls off on the floor, and I open it. And what's the first sentence it says? Your call for angels has been answered. Okay? All right, I have chills telling you this. I want you to get that, because if you're in this room, your call for angels is being answered right now. And that's what happened. They said that when you specifically call for the angels, not only do they show up, but if you ask them for help and support in that loving space, they will give it. So what happened was that I realized that we had created a portal. There's a few seats right up here, sweeties. That we had created an angel portal. And the energy in the room was extremely different suddenly. And at that moment, in starting to work, we started to work, and people started to feel their wings popping out and starting to feel their angelic presence being even more empowered and deeper, because we had called the angels. And so they shared with me this very specific information, that when you create a portal, you raise your own frequency. All right, so let's say that the fifth, sixth dimensions is at this frequency here, and us as mere mortals are at this frequency here. Well, it's hard for the angels to come through and match us. So what they shared with me is that this portal raised the vibration of everyone in it who asked for help. Now, if you didn't ask for help, maybe that didn't happen. But so it raised our frequency enough that the angels could actually come in and be among us. And so that was how it initially began, with this trusting of call us and we will come. Well, that wasn't enough for my angels, because suddenly, because I was saying yes. So what is the key to calling your angels? It is saying, who knows? Yes, yes, I am ready. Yes, I am ready to see, I am ready to hear, I am ready to smell, I am ready to tune in. So the angels started giving me more messages, and this time it was messages like, paint us and we will come. Now I need you to understand, I'm not an artist, really. I'm a former chiropractor, a healer, a psychic channel for people, an intuitive, a coach, a consultant. I'm wonderful, but I wasn't an artist. So I started hearing these messages, paint us and we will come. And as you can see, I started listening. Why did I listen? Because what I was doing wasn't working. I was very smart at this time. I recognized that I was following what my thoughts were telling me to do, but I wasn't following my heart. So that it wasn't happening. So that these messages, paint us and we will come, paint us and we will come, before you know it, something like 50, 60, 70, 80 paintings were birthed. But these were just not ordinary paintings. Because suddenly, when the paintings were in the angel portal, okay, now you guess that I kind of outgrew this, the energy in the room was so palpably profound that you can feel it. And that transformations would happen. And that healings were happening for people, miracles were happening for people. And so we started off by doing these evenings with the earth messengers, which I'll tell you about in a little bit. But these evenings are where we call in the angels and the spirit guides and the earth messengers, and each person gets to really feel what that feels like to go home. So ultimately, after painting them and we shall come, they started to share with me who they are. And they are actually earth messengers, beings that come from the divine. They have been sent by spirit. Some of these beings have never been here before, and they actually come through these portals. Now, what is a portal? A portal is an energetic field which we're creating just by holding Archangel Michael here. So, by creating this energetic field, okay, we are really, how do I explain it? We are sitting here in the third, but next to us and right here are other dimensions. And the veils since 2012 have been thinning. In fact, these talks didn't get as many people 5 years ago. So the veils are thinning, and so the wall, the curtain between dimensions is thinning. And so if we lift our vibration, we can actually call them into us. And when we call them into us, they are so divine that they send us healing. Does that make sense? Now, I want to introduce you to one of them. This is Archangel Michael. Archangel Michael came to me and started to chat, okay, about this painting and painting him. And there are several gifts that Archangel Michael has. Well, the first thing I have to tell you is that when this painting went to Palm Springs, a very sweet guy by the name of Steve was there. And he was just driving down the street, and he sees this painting go in the window of the gallery. Just remind me to do this, okay? He sees my painting in the window of the gallery, and he has to stop and like, who is this person? Who is this person? And he told me when I saw him that what happened is that his arm went up immediately like this. Oop, it was this arm. Hello. Okay, hello. Hello. And the next thing that happened is the painting reproduced itself about 40 times around the room. Okay? Which told him that he needed to meet the artist. Okay? But the paintings have that kind of visual effect. But let me give you the blessings of Archangel Michael, first of all, so you understand. He comes here now with 2 presents for each of us. Number 1 is the sword. Now, Archangel's sword is extremely powerful. And we use it to cut through all negativity, cut through all fear, cut through other people's thoughts about us, cut through other people's attachments to us, cut through curses, this life, past life, future life, this dimension, all dimensions, past, future, present. Okay? Archangel Michael is so powerful that in this room right now, he is holding sacred space. Okay? And if you ask him in your heart, thank you. I accept healing. I accept healing. I accept miracles. I accept cutting through of anything that is keeping me from being the man or a woman or angel that I came in this lifetime to do. He will help you peel the layers that have protected you, that have kept you closed. And this is really the first step, because like my sister, so many people have blocks against, like they would say, oh, you could see angels, but that's you, I can't. Or, I've never talked to an angel. Do you know that most of you have already had contact with your angels? And you wouldn't even be here if your angel hadn't knocked on your head and said, you, get over here. Come on, we're ready. You, wake up. You, I'm talking to you. And they send us messages all the time. It's about listening. How do these messages come? They come as numbers. Who here sees 111? Double numbers, triple numbers, quadruple. Okay? One night, when I first started doing readings and I was really scared, I went, oh my God, how am I going to do these readings? I had 4 in a row. And I thought I was like making it up. And then in front of me passes this truck, angel maids. Okay? And I went, okay, it's not me. Angel maids. So, how many of you see little signs every so often? Just when you're in despair and there's a little truck going, angel maid. Same thing. And do you know that I pass these signs every day and I never noticed them before? Until the moment we need it. So your angels are constantly directing you to where you go. Now, I discovered another secret. Archangel Michael actually has another present for all of you, which I had no idea about. So since 2012, I have told you that the veils are getting thinner between dimensions. Okay? Now, I know this to be a fact because when I do readings, I've started to notice that if people's ancestors are involved, I'll see the ancestors. Like the veil, they're like behind a little curtain. So I did a reading for a very wonderful 20-year-old. I do a lot of readings for young guys because my son is a young guy. And when I go up there, they line up outside of his fraternity house for me to do readings. Okay, well, yeah, mom's in the house. Mom is in the house. And the word goes out, I swear to God, to the fraternity, and they line up, and I do these little readings. And I love these boys, you know, and the girls. They're just precious, 20, 22. They want to know what they're here to do, right? And this cute little Asian guy comes up. He says, you know, I'm a junior, and he said, and I just changed my major from music to accounting. Okay? And I could, like, I'm an artist now, you know, music versus accounting. And my mother had told me I would never be an artist, and I might as well settle for being an accountant. So here's this guy who's giving up being an artist to be an accountant, right? And so my heart was kind of like really beaten. And I'm doing this reading, and suddenly I notice the most bizarre thing. Okay? Because I see things visionary. I get visions. And I see this veil, and I see these ancient Korean ancestors. Now, they were long, scraggly beards, okay? A little long, scraggly, and their butts were a little bit out like this, and they had this thing here, and they were like going around like this. Young number 1 son. He's getting it right. I bet my money on him. And the other one, like the music guys over there, oh, number 1 son, we're gonna, you know, bet our bet on him, like doing the music. And they were like placing their bets, calling him to follow the ancestral path. That's what was so profound about this, was that even from the other side, the ancestors are influencing us. It's very profound, okay? So one day, right after that, I went home, and I had these beautiful plants. They're these lilies that reproduce themselves, and they're very tall. Get out of my car, and I walk up to my front door, and I go like this, and I saw an elf. Now, raise your hand if you've ever seen an elf. I mean, with your eyes open, okay? With my eyes open. I look over, and I do a double take. He's about this tall. Oh my God, the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life. He had a green hat. He had a bow. He had like arrows back here in that thing, you know, arrow holder. He had a bow in his hand, and he looked at me, and I looked at him like this, because the veil had dropped, and we were so taken aback. It was like, I can't even tell you. He was guarding my house. I had no idea, and ever after that, I began to realize that it was only like because I was trying to use my human eyes. So angels and guides and spirits come to us not in human form. They really come to us in spirit form. So as we talk about these messengers, I want to give you a little bit more of a taste of what it feels like to feel them. And I just want to make sure I'm not going to keep you over time, just so you know. Oh yeah. Okay, so who wants to have a little bit more of an experience now? Good. So, good. Okay, good. So we're going to start in a second. I want to explain one thing to you. When I started to show you that process of tuning up your tuning fork, did anyone actually have an experience of like feeling something click in, that you're getting in alignment from top to bottom? Good, because I was told several years ago, I had this vision that I was on this, basically on this ship, and I was surrounded with other beings, but everyone human was sound asleep on the ship. I knew a lot of them. They were all sound. I had this group in Baja called Baja Paranormal, and everyone was on the ship with me. They were sound asleep except for me. And up in the middle of the room was this platform, and each person was coming up on this platform, and it was my job to tune up these tuning forks, okay? My job. They told me I had to do it one at a time at first. It was intense. And in tuning up, the reason we tune up this tuning fork is, get this, Mother Earth, our planet, is in a harmony. It's a celestial being, and it has its own sound. And what I was shown is that because most of us don't know our sound yet, we're kind of out of alignment. And Earth is out of alignment. You've noticed that, right? It's a little bit out of alignment. And each of us is out of alignment. And so they showed me that as I tuned up each person to be in total alignment, we created like a symphony, all right? And every person in a symphony and an orchestra has a role. There's a flute, the guitar, there's all these sounds, and that's what makes the chorus. And you all know when you hear a chorus and it's someone's not playing right, right? And you know, I used to be that one that used to play the off notes, and that ruins the sound. And that's what's been happening on planet Earth. So many of us are not in tune with our complete alignment with the divinity, and so that the sound of Mother Earth is off. So our responsibility is, as we tune ourselves up to our higher frequency, because remember, this tuning fork, which we're imagining, which was 3D when we start, can go all the way up to the dimensions, and they can call the angels to come bring their energy and work with us. So once we are also, here's the deal. We're going to go back and start to tune up our wings a little bit, tune up our tuning fork, maybe tune up our wings a bit. And then the sound in this room, or the inner harmony, because I don't know if I expect us all to sing yet, because I can't, but Mother Earth will be more in harmony. Now, does that make sense? We each are so important to this planet. We each have a mission, a destiny, and a purpose. And it is so important, okay, that Mother Earth can barely function unless each of us are in our purpose even, which is manifested by whether we're in alignment and we sound right. Does that, so it's our responsibility as humans, okay, as humans, as God, these God people, to try to be in this alignment, raise our frequency, so that more good things happen for us and for those around us. Because when you step into this light energy, you become a radiating beam of light for those people around you. You know, I teach a lot about miracles, and I have a group called Miracle Makers Club. And the premise of the Miracle Makers is that when you remember who you are, and you step into who you are, so there's a 2-step process, or maybe 3, remembering, okay, there's got to be more than just this planet. Okay, something's going on. Remember who we are. We actually own it and step in and maybe work with ourselves to get into alignment. We can then